We have just witnessed near history as Caleb has played his shot in the dark, negated 11 votes against him, and saved his butt in tonight's episode. That is second all time to the great Kelly Wentworth. She set the record for the most votes negated against her in a single play when she took 12 votes out of the equation. Unfortunately, Abraham has never been a fan of the shot in the dark. I've never been a big fan of the shot in the dark. And I can promise you, Jay Maya is not a fan of the shot in the dark.
No.
So we are here to cover it all in what was a very exciting and thrilling mergatory episode. I thought the entire episode as a whole was fantastic, but I can't do it alone. So today I am joined by my good friend, Abraham from season 41. Abraham, how are we doing tonight?
Look, I'm doing good, man. You know what? You always gonna be excited to see a episode of Survivor that makes you be like, God, dog. What's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next, man? But I do got a bone to pick with production. They didn't have to leave them people dirty eating at the sanctuary. How you gonna call it a sanctuary and still let them be dirty trying to get something to eat? That wasn't right on that.
Oh, they need like spa treatment or something, Abraham, before they go to the table.
Look here, it's water all around Fiji. You could have let them hit some water. You know, you got somebody with mud on their forehead, it's dried up. I'm like, no, come on, man. Let them get some water. If you send them to the sanctuary.
Let me get some housekeeping out of the way before we get into the main topic, the main talking points of the episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like our videos if you enjoy them. Check us out on Spotify, leave us a rating. Go to survivornowpodcast.com. Check out all the cool stuff we have over there for you. We just started covering Survivor UK. You can check out our Survivor UK recap show of the first two episodes. We filmed that earlier today. And you can check out my exit interviews with the first two castaways eliminated from Survivor UK on the channel as well. You guys can also interact with Abraham and myself by getting in the live chat. We like to call that Ancient Voices. Jay always keeping it alive. I was always a big fan of the shot in the dark, best mergatory of the new era. And then Jay says, I always said the shot in the dark would pay off someday. It's just unfortunate that this wasn't the first shot in the dark play that worked. Because if you guys remember, Jamie in season 44 played the shot in the dark and it worked. It just didn't mean anything. It didn't negate any votes. She didn't have any votes against her anyways. But this, Abraham, this is what we've been waiting for. And you've been the biggest shot in the dark hater. And I'm sorry to everyone out there who hates the shot in the dark. Because of this episode, because everyone's going crazy, and because everyone is like in love with this episode, the shot in the dark is here to stay now. They are definitely going to keep doing it.
We just didn't see the way they implemented the shot in the dark in our season being a factor into our game. Also, it didn't work until season 44. So, I mean, it took some time to flush it out.
Oh, no, you're right. No, you're right. 44. Yeah.
It just took some time to flush out the shot in the dark. It only made sense because it was epic tonight. He played a shot in the dark at a time where he needed to play one. And we saw that old-fashioned Survivor where you duking it out in tribal council. You're trying to get the votes turned off of you. I mean, this was, if you was going to have a shot in the dark that actually worked, this was epic. So kudos to it. I still think the shot in the dark is trash, but kudos to it for working this time for Caleb because, one, he's one of my picks. As y'all go to, if y'all look at the stats, y'all realize that I'm crushing the rest of the Survivor podcast crew on their picks. Don't even worry about that right now. Check my IG. It's on there.
Caleb wasn't on your team. I don't know why you're saying he's one of your picks.
No, but I'm still crushing it.
You are dominating.
Thank you. I'm crushing it. I'm still crushing it.
You are dominating the competition. This was, this is what the shot in the dark is all about. This is what Jeff and production wanted. They wanted an opportunity for a player to stay in the game who had no other opportunity because this was going to be Caleb's going home. There was nothing this man could do. He kept trying to tell people, leave me in the game. I'll be a number for you. And I'm sitting here angry, Abraham. I'm frustrated because I'm saying the same thing. Why do people just want to throw Caleb out of the game? It's been a constant talk throughout Survivor 45 that Caleb is a massive social threat. We got to get him out. We got to get him out. That's a number. Everybody is against it.
I mean, come on, like look. Here it is, Randy. People overplay the game. They feel like at 13, now I just got to get somebody out at 13. You're too far away from the end to get somebody out at 13. You still need somebody. And if you remember,
what I'm saying.
Caleb was winning as a team member. Nobody's played individual immunity for themselves yet. So as a team, Caleb is actually a loser because his tribe got destroyed. So to throw Caleb out there, and that's the thing about it is, man, at first it was like, hey, let's throw Bruce under the bus. Okay, now let's throw Jay Meyer under the bus. Now, if I was Jay Meyer on the way out, I'd have told Sifu, hey, Sifu, I did not vote for you. I was just taking a bullet for the team. You don't have nothing to lose. Might as well tell her going out the door.
I think she was just so devastated. You saw on her face when Jeff showed Caleb safe. You saw how mad Jay Maya was. But, they did have to go through the revote and all of that process, but she pretty much knew at that point she was going home. I loved the fact that Caleb, as he was walking back to vote, he just looks back and screams, Jay.
For all future Survivor players, have fun and enjoy yourself, because every last one of those folks, until they get to the last person, will be getting voted out. So it's going to be memorable to have him going back there to write down on the parchment, no name, because he played a shot in the dark. So he didn't write anybody's name down, because I thought Jay Meyer was doing the first vote. But everybody, even Bruce was like, I'm right. Even everybody wrote Caleb's name down. So now even when he goes back to the tribe, he got to look at everybody, because nobody did not write his name down. And they only wrote Jay Meyer's name down because they didn't get him. So, but keep in mind, Jay Meyer was at the cusp of being in the jury. She was one player away from the jury.
It's got to be tough. Let's see. Jay says, agreed. Jay Meyer got so unlucky tonight. Does agree with me as well. I hate how people keep throwing Caleb under the bus. He's been under the bus since the get-go. And Abraham, you got to, from a player's perspective, tell us how big of a threat that type of person can be, because throughout the entire game, Caleb has been seen as a massive social threat.
He's a threat, but he's a threat because other people are basically pointing out things that he's doing. Now, he could settle back and say, hey, I'm going to tell everybody the same thing I've always told people on Survivor. Get you 2 or 3, and that's it. You don't need to talk to everybody in the tribe. He could have legitimately just stayed with Bruce and them and said, okay, I'm going to still be with them, but I'm not going to like a social butterfly with them. He already got Emily. Emily is his ride or die regardless. So you already got Emily. You ain't got to worry about her. You can take Bruce with you and say, hey, Bruce, I can be a shield for you, Bruce. And that's going to bring Jake along. There you go. Be done with that. That way you're not out there trying to butterfly through everybody, because on Survivor, same thing. We're looking for anything I can use against you to vote you out. Because think about it. Nobody's really saying, let's vote out Caleb. That's not how the episode started. The episode started with, hey, let's vote out Jay Meyer. Once they played the tribal, they knew Jay Meyer was on the chopping block. How you get to Caleb? Oh, Caleb is talking to everybody. And then I was like, okay, Caleb, what you going to do? But Caleb played to the very end, and it paid off for him. But
it was exciting to see. I do want to talk about Emily and how much Caleb has Emily to thank for his game so far. I think if it comes down to Emily and Caleb in the finale, I'm pretty sure Caleb should just hand the $1 million to Emily, because this is the second time she has saved Caleb in this game. The first time being when she obviously flipped on Sabaya and Sean when they were going to vote Caleb out, and she told him they're coming for you. And then tonight as well, she told Caleb straight up, all the votes are on you. There's nothing I can do. You need to play your shot in the dark. And I love how Caleb was like, but Bruce, and she's like, no, Bruce does not like you. He is out to get you. He does not want to play with you. I mean, Emily has kept Caleb in the game. She saved him twice. This man owes that woman her life, like his life.
Here's a problem with Emily. Let's go back to the initial start of the season where she was dumping on Bruce. Now you got to come back, because now you've made the merge, and guess who's sitting there waiting on you? Bruce. And Bruce was like, hey, you can say what you want to say, but I do remember what you said at Merge. Now, you got to remember, Brando got voted out. So, and that was a situation where she thought she had Emily. No, you voted out Brando. So now Emily is creating such a little curve for Caleb, but right now you can't even protect Caleb. You better look out for yourself because she done did a lot of the stuff to people like.
She is looking out for herself because she voted for Caleb tonight. That was such a good move. She's going to have to explain to Caleb why she did that, but she voted. She voted Caleb, which was such a smart move. She could have thrown out a random vote. I'm sure she knew that he was going to play a shot in the dark, and they probably already talked about it. Hey, I still have to vote for you tonight because this is what's going down. But honestly, I believe Bruce is going to be public enemy number one to both Caleb and Emily with how much Bruce turned against Caleb this episode and how Bruce was super frustrated with the fact that Caleb was going around and talking to everybody. I do have to get Jay here before you respond to that. He says, nah, I think you're giving Emily too much credit. Caleb also deserves some credit. And then Jay also adds, but yes, Emily has done a lot of good for Caleb. I think
he did a lot of good for Caleb. Guess what? That bus is going to be driven over both of them. So let's hope that it's driven over Caleb a little later in the season. But Emily, I just think she's starting a lot of little small fires out there, and they're going to catch up with her. Now, I don't think Bruce is going to become enemy number one. I think somebody's going to have to pull Bruce to the side, or Bruce is going to make it up. Wait a minute. Bruce has a hidden immunity idol.
He did find an idol this episode right before, which has to be super scary. He did find an idol right before they got to the merge. But I still think, what's going on with your man Bruce, Abraham? Because Bruce is kind of going crazy. He's bossing people around. He's on edge. No one's talking to him. What is going on with Bruce?
Look, you go out there after you've been a couple of days, you become who you really are. Bruce is just being himself. Bruce is out there having a good old time being himself. But hey, look, I guarantee, did you not see the rain in this episode? Would you not like to have a shelter? Somebody got to say the magical statement, hey, let's work on the shelter. Bruce just says the magical statement, but you did see the rain. I'm not sure what Sifu's out there doing in the rain, but he's having a good time. I still like Sifu's energy. I don't know what kind of game of Survivor he's playing, but I still like Sifu's energy. Now, Austin, come on, man. You just mad for being mad right now behind some sandwiches. Stop playing. He mad behind some sandwiches, but remember, now that J Maya is out, his extra power gets even stronger. It's so many twists and turns to this season.
Let me try to add on to that and give you guys the rundown of who has what, and we can work together here. So Austin has an idol, which he extended this episode by not voting. Yep. That will now carry on until the final 5. Help me out, Abraham.
He has the amulet.
Austin also has the amulet.
Austin has the amulet.
Kelly has an amulet,
which gets stronger now that J Maya got voted out.
That amulet now becomes an extra vote, I believe.
I think it's an extra vote now, and then a full idol if the other person gets voted out.
Yes. I believe so.
Then we have, who's left? Wait a minute.
I should have pulled up. Drew definitely has something. Bruce has an idol. We talked about
something. That. Save your vote.
Austin used that.
Which is the one that Drew has the thing that he can just leave the tribal before they even vote.
Yes. Safety without power. Thank you.
Safety without, there it is. Safety without power.
Yeah, that's the word of it. See, even us sitting here trying to work through, and I'm sure there's an idol out there that we are forgetting. So if you're in the chat and you know the answer, feel free to let us know. We try our best, but let's see. Here it is. Jay always has our back. We got to get Jay on the show sometime.
Okay, Bruce has an idol.
Austin has now a steal a vote with Kelly and an idol. Kelly has a steal a vote with Austin, and Drew has safety without power. So we got pretty much everything.
Look, but you know what? It doesn't. These things are not clogging up the game where it's just too much of one thing. It's just not clogging it up. And we seeing some great gameplay. We seeing some people out there playing the game of Survivor. Emily playing the game. Drew is definitely playing the game. Bruce is playing his game. But we kind of see now. I don't know if because of the edits or whatever. I know Sifu is in the game of Survivor, but we don't really see him playing the game of Survivor. He's there. He's enjoying himself. So I'm with Sifu 100%. But we only see Julie playing the game. So it's interesting to see how many people are making the edits this season with this extra time, and we kind of see how their gameplay works. Now, I was surprised that Julie said, I'm going to throw J Maya under the bus. There's no great loss. So that tribe loyalty kind of got dissipated quickly. I think in the old Survivor, when you come to the merge and you got numbers, you kind of start picking off people on the other tribes since you do have a certain amount of numbers. In this season of Survivor, man, everybody's free game.
Abraham, you're just going to run over everyone today. You're going to touch base on every single castaway. We got to get into this episode as a whole. It was the Mergatory episode. So we saw all three tribes come together on the Reba Beach. Apologies earlier on the fantasy show. I called them Ratu, used the wrong tribe. So it's Reba. They all come together on the Reba Beach. I was very excited to see this because you got to see Emily and Caleb get back together. Obviously, Austin and Drew have been together, but they get to reconcile with Dee and Julie. So you got to see them interact again. And then the common theme this episode, Abraham, has been tribal lines. Reba versus Bello, with Lulu kind of in the middle. But the weird thing is, Reba was out to get their own member from the get-go. You mentioned that at the start of this episode, the main target was J Maya. Why do you believe Reba is so against J Maya instead of just bringing her in when J Maya just wants to be Reba Strong?
Look, again, overplaying at the wrong time. You have the numbers. Are you going to start cutting yourself out? Because if you look at it, we got Dee, we got Julie, we got Sifu. Who was left on that tribe? And we got Austin and Drew. Then you got everybody else to vote out. You could vote it out 3 more players before you even got to your own tribe. Be like, hey, let's stick to the alliance. Let's vote out these 3 people. And then it's going to start dwindling down. It's going to start turning on each other. But you didn't have to do it. J Maya went too early to me because now you're down a vote. So that leaves you wide open for next time if you go for Seafood. Well, it's the merge now. Seafood's made other relationships. So now when you get into the merge, this is a whole different kind of Survivor game now because you're dealing with everybody versus dealing with your own tribe. So Seafood doesn't have to have any alliance with them. And somebody's going to tap Seafood on the shoulder and be like, hey, look, didn't they try to vote you out last time? He's going to be like, yeah, Rod. Then
That's what I'm posting on Instagram. Your Seafood. Can you do that Seafood impression?
I'm like, I'm going to vote somebody out. Seafood going to get it. But Seafood, then he's gonna turn on him. Then now your numbers are down, and you're hoping that Drew or one of them plays something for you to try to save you. Austin probably gonna get blindsided somewhere in here. I hope not. But you just kind of upset the apple before the cart when you start voting people out and saying, okay, let me get 2 or 3, and everybody thinks they're the 2 or 3 in this season. Like, no, we're together. Hold on, Kelly be jumping all around. I don't know what 3 of Kelly really was.
Abraham, I was keeping this question for later, but at the end of the show, I was going to ask you, who do you think's playing the best game as of now? I think it's Kelly. I have not heard Kelly's name once. I think Kelly is playing a terrific game. She's bouncing around, but nobody has any idea that she's bouncing around.
The best player of the night that plays the game of Survivor from start to finish is Caleb.
I mean, Caleb's been so good that he gets brought up every episode. It was so sad in Tribal Council when he was just like, Jeff, it wouldn't be Tribal Council without my name being brought up. It's always brought up.
Look,
this man cannot play the game because everyone's just immediately like, yeah, Caleb, he's too good. He's got to go. He's a Canadian. He's not Batman.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of funny. I'm going to hit him up tonight and be like, hey, man, great shot in the dark play. We've been going back and forth, man. We was back and forth on the basketball. But here's the thing, man. You got to settle into the game. And Kelly is settled into the game. But again, at some point, you got to play because we're going to get into the part of the game where it says you got to have a resume. Got to have a resume for the tribal. So we know who the next player being voted out. They're going to be the one that's going to be on the jury. And that's going to start to snowball because everybody leaves.
That was an amazing episode title. I agree as well. It just an amazing episode in terms of like new era Mergatory episodes. It has been fantastic. Let's talk a little bit more, Abraham, about the start of this episode, the Lulu idol hunting. So Katurah was off and away, and this is before the merge. Sorry, I know we go a little out of order. But you mentioned it earlier, Bruce finding the idol. This had to be so nerve-wracking. He told everyone on the tribe except for Katurah. We see Jake trying to get Katurah away from camp, or not even that, just give a reason why he's digging. He's like, man, I can't find my rings. I can't find my
and it was on his chain.
He's like,
it was on his chain. I was like, where's he hiding his rings at?
He's like, I'm sorry, Grandma, for cussing, but I can't find my effing rings, and trying to give a reason for digging. And then you find out 10 minutes. And this is, if you guys don't know on Survivor, that's a hard 10 minutes. I'm sure Abraham can say it's not 10 minutes. And then you tell the camera crew and production, hey, I just need 2 more minutes. No, it is 10 minutes, get your butt on the boat. So he has 10 minutes to get his stuff ready, and he still hasn't found the idol. Abraham, if that's me, I'm going right. You know, I don't even care if Katurah sees it. I'm just digging. I don't even care.
I'm digging too. Here's again, all future Survivor players. Quit telling everybody that you're looking for an idol. I wish Bruce had disguised it and, try to be more stealthy with it. But everybody was there. Now, Katurah being the only person left out, okay, great. At least one person was left out. So, but somebody go tell he got an idol. Oh, my fault. He did. Who? Caleb. Caleb dimed him out. Caleb just dimed everybody. I was like, way to go, Caleb. So here's the thing. He went back to the instruction. The instruction says, hey, it's directly up under the centerpiece and found it. I just like that part of the game where you got to hustle and you got to dig deep. And he dug deep. He dug deep, man, because you don't know how deep they put it in the sand. And it's not like it's a big piece of paper. So he's digging in the sand. And I like the way they capped it off where he, at the last moment, he finds it. But now you got a more dangerous Bruce, because now Bruce has an immunity idol. Everybody at least want one. Now, when does he play it? When he's not played, that's a whole ball game. But I like that part of it. I like the way he had to hustle to get it. I don't like the fact that everybody on the tribe except for one person knew about it, but at least one person was left out of it.
I mean, Jay brings up a great point here. That makes it even more perplexing why Bruce threw Caleb under the bus, since he trusted Caleb and told him he had the idol. Bruce did a complete 180 this episode in terms of especially Bruce. Bruce does it. Abraham, you know what part of this episode was my favorite part?
What you got?
The bug dancing. I love this scene. We got to talk about it. This little bug. And this little bug driving back and forth. You have Sifu like.
I was like, where did they get that bug from? You know what's more shocking? That there was a snake on the scene. A live snake in a tree on Survivor. I've only seen a snake on Survivor one other season, and it was a snake. And I was like, wait a minute, man, where's the snake? And Jake is over there talking about, hey, it's a snake right here. I was like, Jake, you might be too close to the snake, to tell you the truth. It's sitting in a tree, but I'm like, man, I probably keep walking the other direction. But this was the bug and snake episode. At least we know there are snakes in Fiji, because there are, and it's actually they do make the episode.
Who can dance better between this bug and you, Abraham?
No, I got the bug, man. Come on.
Oh, the bug was jamming, man.
The bug wasn't even using any moves.
Hey.
Yeah, no, the bug.
Yeah, he had the butt going, man. He was bug twerking.
Who was the cameraman that got the bug? That'll let you know they be shooting a ton of footage that we never see.
I love the part where Drew brought it up to, we saw a huge confessional with Drew basically saying, look, I'm ready to play the game. I want to get in. I want to skip this kumbaya. We all get along. We know the game's about to start. We know we're going to be coming for each other's throats. Let's start playing. And we see him talking to Austin, and you hear everyone in the background screaming and laughing at this little bug vibing. And you see it on Drew's face. He's like trying to whisper over the screaming to Austin, and he's just ready to get the game going, man. I love, and I'll bring this into a broader perspective. I love the relationship we have between Austin and Drew.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really hope this alliance goes to the very end together, because much like I love Caleb and Emily, I'm a huge fan of this duo's alliance. We've been seeing it the past couple of seasons with like Cody and Jesse and Shannon Ricard. And this has been, we started Survivor with massive alliances. I'm
all
talking.
Those people wait a minute. You do know all those players cut the other player's throat, don't you?
I know, and it's probably
okay, I'm just checking.
It's probably coming, but we started Survivor in decades ago where sorry, my mic cut out. Decades ago where it started like with big alliances, and that's how the game was played. Then we went from big alliances to voting blocks. Then we went from voting blocks to an individual game where everyone just kept flipping, even worse than voting blocks. It was almost like every episode worked.
They didn't, who they was voting for.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's kind of transitioned into the new era is all about duos. We've seen some very powerful duos. So my question to you that I'm finally going to get to, because I just speak too much, is what do you think of the duos this season? And who do you think is primed to go the farthest? Because I've already mentioned Emily and Caleb. I've mentioned Drew and Austin. You could say Bruce and Jake. They've worked together from the get-go. You could say Julie and Dee. They've worked together from the get-go. There's a lot of groups. Who are you liking?
First of all, my top ones is going to be Drew and Austin, because they have stuff. They have stuff to help them along in the game. Then I'm going to put Emily and Caleb, because they just work well together. I think they work well together, and I think they can pull in a couple more people. I'm not going to give Dee the nod right now, because we really haven't seen Dee do anything. We see Dee talking in tribal. We see her doing this and that, but we haven't seen Dee play the game and focus in and say, hey, we're going to do this or that. So I'm interested to see how she goes. As long as Bruce has a idol, I'm going to put Bruce and Jake together. I think they'll be a nice little duo. Julie, to me, Julie is just still kind of sitting out on the cusp right now. But here's the thing. We're about to go down to 12. That was 13. We're about to go down to 12. So if you can get a duo together and they can pull in 2 or 3 more people, they're golden. Because somebody's still not going to be voting. So Austin may not be voting. So that doesn't mean that you're getting 12 votes. Now you're only getting 11 votes. So you only need 5 or 6 people to kind of turn the vote to your favor. So it's going to be interesting to see how these next couple of episodes, because I think the idol's always going to be in the back of somebody's mind. They had a new tribe, so there's got to be an idol there somewhere, because they're already playing a new idol. Secondly, Drew and Austin right now are still the most 2 powerful duos in the game. But they've also told other people on their tribe. So, except for Seafood. I think Seafood might be the only person on their tribe they don't know. To me, Seafood's going to be a swing gate. Seafood's going to be this. Seafood is going to be our swing vote. I think now we're down to 12. Seafood's going to be the swing vote.
Seafood's in a really interesting position. Jay, keeping the chat alive. The duos this season have been so refreshing. There are even overlapping duos, since Caleb and Emily and Katurah and Caleb are also duos. And then he does believe Next Tribal is going to be split. Let's talk about Seafood this episode. We saw, because of last episode, am I getting my episodes mixed up? I think I am.
Seafood, he was in the rain.
Oh, Seafood, sorry. I watched last week's episode literally this morning. So I knew I was probably going to get them mixed up. I was going to talk about how Seafood was like, who wrote Seafood's name down? And that was
we had that's the podcast I was trying to get on, because somebody wanted to quit again. I think I wasn't supposed to be on that podcast. So Seafood still hasn't gotten an edit to say what Seafood's actually playing, what's his game style. But for enjoyment purposes, Seafood's having a great time. Seafood's out in the rain. Austin says, no, I don't really like the rain unless I got somewhere dry to go to. So you kind of see Seafood just saying, you know what? I'm happy I'm here. And plus, I'm happy Seafood made it to the jury. I think it's going to be I think he can be a great member of the jury. If we see more of his gameplay, who never knows? Seafood might be the top 3. Who never knows?
He might.
It's 12 people left, so you don't really know exactly who's going to get or do what. Because to me, Austin would have been the biggest threat. Because Austin's out there playing. Some of the tribe knows what he has, but you see how Caleb blew up Bruce's game and said, "Hey, Bruce got an idol." So we're just looking at players and saying, "Okay, I don't think Caleb is going to be on the chopping block when he comes back."
Jay's got a point here. He says, no, the first person voted out at the split tribal won't make the jury because next week we do have the split tribal where 2 people are going to be going home.
How many people on the jury?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. What I do like is I don't have a problem with 2 people going home. I have a problem with you sending 2 people going home at the very first episode. That was my problem.
We know you did not like that.
Hell's no. But deeper in this context here, I love it because now you've developed the players and you develop I want to see Austin win or I want to see a Caleb win. So now we know 2 players are going home. That's going to be pretty interesting. So even if you put Caleb back on the chopping block, who's number 2? Because really Caleb and Jay Myers' name was the only 2 you were throwing out there. So who do you target? I'm interested to see how Caleb mend these bridges because he threw quite a few people on the bus during his speech.
Caleb, he cut ties with Julie. He cut ties with D. Kind of frustrated them. I didn't understand why they were so angry because for the most part, he was just saying vote out Jay Maya instead. Like he wasn't telling them to vote off D or Julie.
Look, they just need a reason to be mad about something. They knew they was going to vote Caleb. We're playing. It's not that hard to change your mind when on a vote. You pretty much know who you're going to vote for. And his speech just kind of solidified. He probably could have changed a couple of words in there. But let's not forget about the challenge.
I was going to say, I'll stop you there because we are going to play a couple commercials really fast or a couple ads, however you want to look at it. And when we get back, we will talk about the challenge. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, guys? I'm Todd Herzog, the winner of Survivor China, and I want to welcome you to Todd's Pop Shop. Here, me and my husband Jess, we custom make Funko Pops. We'll make literally anybody or anything you could imagine. But being that we're here listening to the Survivor Now podcast, I'm assuming you're all Survivor fans. So take a look at these. Some custom Funkos of your favorite Survivor winners, Sandra and Yul. Or how about Big Brother fans? Suri Goddess herself playing the game of Big Brother. You can also get her in Survivor form. Or maybe yourself with your favorite buff and a torch playing the game. But even better, get yourself with your favorite player like Nora here with Ozzy. And since you're listening to the Survivor Now podcast, if you mention this ad, you will get $10 off your first order and free shipping. All season long, Survivor 45 should be a good one. Mention this ad, $10 off and free shipping. I'll be watching too, still a diehard fan to this day. Hit me up on Instagram, Todd's Pop Shop, or toddspopshop@gmail.com, or on Facebook, and I will see you soon.
My name is Jonah Fielko, and I'm the CEO of Bracketology.tv, fantasy sports for reality television. We offer fantasy games for shows like The Bachelor, Survivor, Big Brother, RuPaul's Drag Race, and counting. You start by creating a community. Within your community, you can create a fantasy league for each show that you want to play fantasy games for. Within the league, you can choose up to 3 of our 4 game types, and our most popular is the Advanced League. Choose a team of contestants, and depending on what they do and say during the episode, that's how your team will gain or lose points each week. We also have elimination-style games like our Confidence Pool. This is where you choose how confident you are that each contestant will survive elimination that week. And we've also got March Madness-style brackets. Come back a couple hours after the episode to check your scores and watch you climb the leaderboard. Bracketology is free to play, so grab your friends, your family, your coworkers, and head to Bracketology.tv for more info.
And we are back, and let's get to, okay, so Abraham, before we get into the immunity challenge, remind us, myself and the viewers, are you a fan of Earn the Merge? Are you a fan of the Mergatory? This has become something that we see every season for the new era, and that is We're going to draw rocks. We're going to split in the two teams. One person isn't going to compete. You just have to bet on who you think's going to win. And the winners get to enjoy the feast. And the losers, one of you's going home tonight.
I think the way they do it as an element of uncertainty for one player, and this particular one had it would have been closer, so it wasn't as disproportionate as the original when you look at them from the who's on what tribe. So I like the way that's set up. I just don't like the fact that you got to still go to tribal council still to make the merge. So you get there. You might lose with the team that you select. Then you got to go to tribal council. Then you vote somebody out. And then you be like, okay, y'all have made the merge. And he's like, wait a minute. How do we make the merge? So there's parts of it I do like because it just adds another layer to it. Because the person that got the white rock has to make a decision on who they think might win. But again, it's like, I like it, but it's I can understand how it could be a little dicey. So
the decision on who you thought would win tonight was very, very simple to me. So we had the red team of Caleb, Jay, Kelly, D, Emily, and Jake. And then you had the blue team of Drew, Sifu, Bruce, Julie, Austin, Kendra. And I literally wrote in my notes, oh, by the way, Katura was the one who drew the gray rock.
It was a great rock.
Blue looked stacked. I mean, I instantly was like, I'm taking blue. And they were stacked. They dominated the competition. I don't know if this is something Survivor needs to change. It was just how it played out this season. But Abraham, Blue took a massive lead, never gave it up, and they kind of ran away with this thing.
I mean, it's random. I mean, you put the rocks in the bag. You can dig off in the bag if you want to, but I mean, ultimately, it's a random draw, and it just happened to be those players that ended up on the same tribe. You can't get no more random than that, because I know when somebody was talking when they put the little buffs on top and they line them up. That what if everybody picked buffs from the same spot, and then but again, you hoping the person that put the tray together mixed them all up. So I think the rock's in the bag. You dig in the bag and get what you want, and then call it a day. So now, did it come out a stacked team? Oh yeah, that team was stacked, but you still had to perform. You still had to get through the challenges. You could have got a situation where you couldn't get Sifu up there because he was heavier, or you could have dropped somebody. J Maya technically was a slowdown one.
She
did.
J
Maya had got through. They actually would have been closer than they were to actually competing in the challenge because they did pretty well. They wasn't just totally blown out of it. You know, Jeff be narrating the challenge like you just suck, but you be like, well, wait a minute, they just right there. We can still see them. And Dee was saying that the whole time. She was like, hey, we can see them. They right there. Let's just stay the course. But it looked like they was killing them.
Would you have been able to put that puzzle together? Because Drew was easily, this is what it is. And I'm saying there like, okay, I got the forwards. I'm still trying to figure out how we got safety from.
Here's the thing about the puzzles, man. First of all, those puzzle people are heavy because it's always like, what? Because you can't you got to maneuver them in place. So that was the first part, trying to get through that puzzle on that aspect of it. So, and it's kind of like, I like the fact that they changed it up and made it a double puzzle versus just one puzzle.
It was a grand competition. Yeah. You could tell like the stakes were high. They're like, we're going to make you work to win this and make the merge.
Yeah. So when he said this is the first puzzle to get you to the second puzzle, I thought that was great. So now if you put that all in the merge, for you to be able to get to merge and not have to go to tribal council, you have to work for it. I love that aspect of Survivor. I love that you have to go in there and work for it. You got the physical part, you got the mental part. You know what they was doing a little too much of? A little kumbaya talking about, oh man, we sorry y'all lost. No, you're not.
No,
none of y'all sorry.
Have you watched Survivor UK, Abraham?
I have not. I gotta find the vehicle. I'm still looking for the vehicle.
I'll send you the links on the
appreciate it.
Yeah, but
even though I asked you like 2 days ago, but okay.
What did you ask me 2 days ago?
I did. I said, hey man, how we looking at
it? Abraham, I've been drunk all weekend. It was Halloween weekend.
Send me the link, man, so I can look at the 2 episodes.
I'll just say I don't want to spoil anything, but they talk nothing but smack. every challenge, they are like yelling at the other team, y'all suck. And so
Look, you're not going to make them feel better that they just lost. So take your win, enjoy your win, and keep it moving. Don't be sitting there talking about, yeah, we sorry for y'all, man. It's just all right. What you going to do? You're not going to vote for me? That's all I need you not to do. I don't need you to vote for me. Now, I don't like the fact that the winners still get the vote off the losing tribe. I think it should have just been the losing tribe.
the 6 of them going to tribal council.
Yeah. 6 of them, you lost, go to tribal council. Y'all figure out who y'all going to vote out. Because really, you add an extra mix in there. It's good for TV, but I think it's kind of lopsided because now you can kind of pick somebody out. And then they didn't, the person that they picked at tribal, the person they picked at the tribal feast, the merge feast, wasn't even the same person they initially voted out anyway.
I mean, we're going to get to the merge feast here to kind of wrap up the episode. One other thing I do want to say about the challenge as a whole is I want to talk about Jake. So Jake landed very hard on his knee. I know Wendell tweeted, as a guy who has torn his ACL twice, that did not look good. I don't know if you saw it, Abraham. Jake was limping.
Limped up to that ball.
Jake was limping. Are we concerned about Jake this season? Because this dude has passed out twice, and now he could have a knee injury. I don't like to be someone who looks too far into the edit, but they could be painting it up for a Jake medevac because he landed very hard.
Because also somebody else landed pretty hard. On the Game of Survivor, if you don't get hurt, you ain't playing. And that's how it comes out. He's playing, he's hurt. But again, it's situated where it can be addressed. They'll make sure you don't injure yourself to the point where you can't play anymore. So in that aspect of it, Jake is going to continue to play until he just can't play anymore. I think Jake coming from a situation where he was heavier, he lost a ton of weight, and now he's trying to play the Game of Survivor and not taking as many calories. That has nothing to do with weight loss or what he did before, but it does affect the body differently for him. That's why I think he's been having the tremors and stuff right there, because it's just a lack of eating, which has nothing to do with the weight loss part of it. Just that he has to readapt to that environment. And I think Jake has done well to it. I think he's starting to adapt to it, and his body is starting to feel 13 days because they've taken away food. Well, everybody needs substance. Now you got coconut there, you got some fruit there, you got crab there. But ultimately, once you eat up a source of food on the island, guess what? It's gone. It's not like they plant trees over there. They do not. When you go on Survivor to Fiji, you better hope they drop you on an island that has something on it because they're not planting anything. So I think Jake is going to be all right, but they're going to make sure physically if something's going on, he's out of there. But I think Jake is going to make it through.
Jay has said a lot here. I like Mergatory, but I feel like they should switch it up and maybe do 4 teams of 3 or do it in pairs and switch up when it's done. Maybe sometimes at 12 or sometimes at 13. Or maybe do it as a schoolyard pick. I miss the schoolyard picks.
That'll be a good one.
If they want to keep it as 2 teams, since people will choose the strongest people, and it'll make it closer. I will say, I'll show one more. I agreed too. The 6 or 7 should go to tribal by themselves, but what they can do to spice it up is have the winners and the losers interact before the losers go to tribal by themselves.
Thank you for happily agree with me on that, Jay. But I do like Jay's.
Hey, don't feed Abraham's ego. He doesn't need it.
I appreciate it. Good looking out, Jay. I do like the schoolyard pick. I do like that idea. So that would even the playing field to the schoolyard pick. Have 2 people pick rocks out the bag and then go schoolyard pick. So I do like that one. That'll be pretty interesting.
Well, let's talk about the merge now. It's like the last thing we really have to talk about from this episode. Man, people were not shy to throw out names. It was a big talking point. Going to the feast, who's going to be the person who throws out a name? Sifu immediately throws out Jay's name. Doesn't even hesitate. I want Jay out of the game. And then you have Julie, who throws out the Lulu members, Caleb and Emily. They're just kind of scooting by. We need to target them. Kendra also joins in and says, yeah, I agree. Caleb needs to get voted out of the game. Everyone seemed down for that, except for Katurah, who is like, I don't want Caleb out of the game. Oh. Why would we vote Caleb out of the game? He's supposed to be with us. We're supposed to use Caleb, Bellow Strong, and we have Bruce and Kendra who are just throwing Caleb's name out willy-nilly. So, I mean, they were not hesitant, Abraham, to just throw out someone's name, whoever they wanted to go home.
Yeah, but hindsight 2020, we got the vote. We know she voted Caleb out anyway. So that's going to be interesting going back to tribal. But here's the thing. I think Bruce in the original edit did pretty good. He said, hey, I'm just going to sit back. And he didn't throw anybody's name out. And when Sifu said, then he said, hey, we're going to vote some. Hey, let's get to talking. Sifu will be talking. He just throws it out there. Hey, let's get to talking. And he was like, I want Emily out. I want Jay. I want Jay Maya out. At that point, Bruce should have said, I'm good. Let somebody else steer those conversations. You ain't got to be a part of the conversation. Just kind of let it steer through. But everybody introduced the players that were going to actually be on the chopping block. Because if you look at it, Emily was still on the chopping block. Jay Maya was still after her. I didn't understand why Jay Maya went for Emily so hard at the once they had to do the revote. But Emily was on the chopping block. Caleb was on the chopping block. Jay Maya was on the chopping block. That did not change at all. It just that it wasn't successful.
Well,
if they'd have voted for a third time, Emily would have been gone.
This is a terrific question to kind of round everything up here. How do you all think the merge dynamics will play out going forward? Starting with the split tribal next week, how will the alliances shake out and who will be on the bottom? That's a very good question. It's hard with the split tribe. You don't know how it's going to play out because you don't know how they're going to be split. Something tells me Bello is going to phase out. I think there's too many dynamics going on. Kelly is working with a lot of people. Katurah wants Bruce out. Bruce wants Katurah out. I really do think the people in the best position are the Reba tribe, and I'm talking mainly Drew, Austin, Julie, and D. I think those four are looking really good if they stay strong and stick together until the end.
I think Austin and Drew and Bruce and all of them going to combine with Jake. I think they're all going to come together.
Austin, Drew, Bruce, and Jake? Why would Austin and Drew leave Julie and
D? All you need is a group of a small group. Also, Bruce has an immunity out. So he's like, okay, well, I got. So does Austin.
Everyone knows Bruce has an idol now.
Yeah, that's why I'm teaming up with Austin, because they know that Austin has something. So I'm trying to team up with somebody I can kind of take the heat off of me and kind of sit back.
Who knows? The only people who know Austin has something is Julie and D.
Oh no, it's gonna come out. It's coming out because look, they can't hold water on this. Yeah, they can't hold water on the new era. So I'm just waiting to see how everybody plays out. But I think we're gonna look at the dynamics of Caleb is not getting voted out next week. He's gonna find a new home with somebody, and he's gonna be in there. It's gonna be like, okay, cool. Because really, they truly like Caleb. He just happened to fall on the wrong thing tonight. So, and he beat it. So if you beat it, guess what? You got a chance. Now, who do I see trying to get voted out? Katurah. She don't win. She might get voted out.
I think Sifu is also in danger.
Nah, I think because Sifu really hasn't come up.
Sifu
now that Jay Maya's gone,
hasn't come out.
Not now, but now
he's been coming up.
We're in a merge now.
Coming up. They're not going to forget Sifu. He's been a threat since the get-go.
Had I been on last week's podcast, I would have said, why would you vote Seafood out? Because you're going to lose every other challenge. Because if you go back to that challenge, Seafood is a reason why you even won the challenge. Because I ain't seen anybody else carrying that cage. But I don't think Seafood is going to be the target. I'm going to go ahead and
Caleb also is going to be in a very dangerous spot. Obviously, they couldn't get him out this week. Everyone's not going to go back to camp and just forget about Caleb. He's still going to be a big threat, especially after this, because if Caleb makes it to the end, that's going to win him the game. If Caleb makes it to the end of the game, he is my winner pick, so I'm biased. Hey, my winner pick almost made the merge. He at least made it past the mergatory, but if everyone does know, they still know if Caleb makes it to the end of the game, he is going to win this game.
Look. Caleb has a social game, and he has a great resume for the first part of the game. And this shot in the dark is a good start to a resume for the second part of the game. So it'll be interesting to see where he kind of falls at next week. So with two players leaving next week, it's dicey because the people that's targeting each other.
I'll show Abraham this to feed into his ego.
Man, come on. Who got that 242? Look. 242, man. Stop playing.
242. What about Will with that 45?
Will. Is Will even still in the game? I mean,
He's got Kelly. He's got Kelly still in the game. He's got 45 points before it updates.
hey, next season we gotta have it's gotta be 50 or above. 50 or above, we gotta take you off the screen. You shouldn't even have at 45, you shouldn't have screen time.
He
picked those
still has.
players.
He still well.
No.
Two of his players that he picked. Two of the players that he picked were Hannah and Sean.
Hold up. Let me go back and look at the list. Sean did. Sean quit. Oh, wait a minute. Hannah quit. So no, we not. Hey, look, his bad picking ain't got nothing to do with us.
I think what I'm going to do, right? Because we can only have 6 people a season because it played out nicely, right? Everybody got 8 people, right? Or sorry, everyone got 3 people. I don't know where the 8 people came from. So to get David and Tegwith in, they couldn't make the draft this year, but to get them in, I think whoever has the lowest points, we're going to kick them out of the draft. David and Tegwith will take their spot. And then whoever is the lowest the next season, they leave. And then Will and whoever the other person is will come back.
Look, I don't have them problems. Because I've never been low any season. Didn't I win last season? Yes, I did.
You might have won last season. But yeah, we pretty much covered everything. And Abe, we did it in under an hour. We just kind of bam, 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 bam.
I mean, it was a great episode that wasn't kind of all over the place. It had a lot of stuff that just kind of worked this episode. The beginning worked, the middle worked, and the end worked. Love to see the shot in the dark. Well, I love to see how it got played out in this particular episode. I still think the shot in the dark is trash.
You still think it after this? This is what it was made for. Like moments like
it can't be 5 seasons and it works once.
It can't work. It can't work all the time though, or it'd be boring. It's got to work every once in a while. It's a shot in the dark.
This is the best shot in the dark play in 5 seasons. So we'll leave it at that.
It'll be the best shot in the dark play probably in the history of Survivor. There will probably never be one that tops this.
And it was a live tribal council. I don't know why everybody got up because it didn't make a difference. It was a live tribal council. We hadn't seen that. But the bantering inside of tribal council where Caleb just was terrorizing Jay Maya on that boat. He was like, Jay Maya. I was like, he didn't even vote for you. So the banter and the fun and the back and forth, because you had people laughing at it. I mean, it was tribal council and it was great. The challenge, superb. I'm glad Survivor has production that you listen to the actual seasons prior. I'm not gonna give credit to the previous seasons because y'all needed to change them challenges anyway. Great challenge, great physicality, great mental part of it. I'm gonna go with maybe schoolyard pick. Maybe throw that in next time. But I don't have a problem with the rocks in the bag. The boat ride was funny because that's where that 10 minutes for Bruce came in at, because the boats have to pick you up and it has to be lighting, it has to be everything else. So Bruce probably only had 10 minutes to get that stuff taken care of. I don't like the everybody's around social finding idol things, but Bruce got his idol, so we'll see how that pans out for him. So overall, just a great episode of a lot of good stuff. The hour and a half is definitely providing more content to the Survivor episodes this season. So I'm loving it.
Oh, it's been fantastic. And I'll let you guys know I'm adding to my autograph wall. You can't really see him. That's Voce. I got Sandra. And then look what Abraham did for me. I mean,
you got to put Abraham up there.
Go right about here. Right below the queen.
I remember that day, and that bamboo was killing my shoulder.
Oh, does everyone need to see the picture again? I'll bring it back up.
That's before,
yeah. Look at that.
That's before the beer.
Action shot. Well, we've got some incredible content coming up for you guys this week. Don't forget to check out Survivor Social on Saturday, 6 p.m. They might be doing a different time. That's a work in progress. They might be having a guest. So usually it's Saturdays at 6. I will let you know if the time changes. Don't forget to check out Got Something For You on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Survivor Social, we are picking a new time. Congratulations to Will, who just got a new job. So that might be going back to its normal time slot on Mondays. We will talk about that. You can check out our Survivor UK coverage. Make sure to check out the recap show we did earlier today. You can go check out my interview with the first 2 castaways who were eliminated this past weekend. Also, there's new merch. Go to the link in our Instagram bio, and you can get our Survivor UK is back merch. What are you looking at, Abraham?
I'm looking for my merch.
Oh, you didn't know we had new merch here?
I'm always supporting merch, man. I like to look at the bio.
Let me pull it up. It's winter season. So Survivor, and then the Survivor Now logo is on the back. So Survivor UK is back. You can get a pullover hoodie, or you can get a crew neck just right in time. It's a good looking shirt. You can get it in different colors if you want to do blue. So Survivor UK is back. You can go pick that up in by the link in our bio. It goes for, I think both of those go for about $40. So yeah, other than that, if you enjoyed this episode, I got tongue tied there. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify, leave us a rating. And then, as I stated earlier, go to survivornowpodcast.com to check out all of our videos. The podcast feeds are there as well. Abraham, anything else to say? What the fuck?
Look. Hey, look. I mean, you gotta. Hey, if you're a Survivor fan, we don't want to hear this complaining about Survivor anymore. You look, these episodes is giving you everything you could ever want. Everything. So let's just enjoy the season, man. Have a good time talking about it. I'm looking forward to next season. I got my post out today on IG, man. I'll be just thinking about stuff to talk about. Jay Maya played an excellent game. See you at the reunion in December next month. That's gonna be pretty fun. That's gonna be live.
Did you not hear about the news? I knew I was forgetting something.
That's Kids Give the World. That's
Hearts of Reality. If you guys did not hear, has canceled their event this year. It devastated. But Bryce and Wendell are trying to step up. They said they're working on something to make sure everyone who is still going to go has something to do. Are you going to either of the finale events, Abraham? We might have to talk about this off camera, but I wanted to.
I'll be in the finale event in LA. I'll be at the season finale.
So I need to buy my tickets for LA. Is what?
Yeah, LA is going to be live. Let me know.
No, we'll talk after this goes off air. But Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys next.